it's Sandra. Welcome to Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month After Party Day 31. Yes, I've been live streaming now for 31 days in a row for Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month After Party. If you've just joined me on this channel, please hit the big subscribe button now, because it's a place to be for education about asexuality. I talk about friendships, relationships, dating, and that weird thing called sex, and tons more too. A variety of things to asexualize your life. So do subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I post a new video. Hello to whoever's watching. Nice to have you on the show watching here. It's fabulous. So this is a really important video. You might not like what I'm about to do, and I want to give you a heads up just so you know what's happening, so I'm completely clear with you. Okay, so I've been reflecting a lot in my life lately about me, my asexuality, about my life, my career, relationships, friendships, all that type of thing. And you know, when you've got sort of things happening in your life, events, and then all of a sudden you just sort of feel that you need to think about everything and reflect on everything again. Yeah, you kind of like might even be like, what's going on in your life? You know, where are you? What are you doing? So the reason I've brought you on this video is because I want to share with you, hello Michael, I wanted to share with you, right, that I want to help all asexuals across the globe, right, across the asexual spectrum, okay? I've been reflecting a lot on my life lately, my own asexuality and everything. So you probably have watched my channel for a while, you know probably what I'm like. I am definitely asexual, 100% asexual, because I do not experience sexual attraction. I do not get the urge, need, or want for partnered sexual intercourse. Personally, I'm repulsed by sex these days. I've had it in the past. It's not like I couldn't do it again. If I really wanted to, I probably could, even though it hurts somewhat. You know, I probably could do that if I really wanted to, right? But I don't want to. I've been sex-free since 2011. I'm quite happy to live a sex-free life and existence, right? Okay, but I have to let you know, if you haven't known already, that I do have some sexual behaviour. And, you know, there's a lot of stereotypes, there's a lot of myths where asexuals, all asexuals, can never ever have anything to do with any sexual sort of feelings, any sexual sort of intimacy, any sexual touching, anything to do with sex whatsoever, right? There's this stereotype that none of us can do that. And there's certain people who don't believe that someone's really asexual if they do anything remotely sexual, right? It's like, I'm a genuine pure asexual, you're not, okay? And while I really understand how they feel, I understand that someone who is aromantic, for example, and asexual, I understand why they're kind of the purest forms of asexual, in the sense that they don't experience any romantic attraction, they don't experience any type of sexual attraction, you know, the ones that are just aromantic, not grey romantic, okay? I really get that. I understand you. I even did a video where I said about aromantics being the purest form of asexuals in that sense. However, there are loads and loads of asexuals, right, all across the spectrum. And even some of the romantic asexuals, they still want some physical contact, which can be sexual in behaviour, you know? They might want to touch people all over their body, which can be seen as sensual or sexual, you know? People view things in very different ways. People all have different perspectives. Hi, Martin. And that is why I wrote my Asexual Perspectives book. And that is why I did Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, to celebrate our diversity across the spectrum and our differences within it. So you have to know that there are asexuals that do like sexual touching, that do like some intimacy, and there are asexuals that completely can't stand it and want to vomit by it, you know? We're all different, and I do have some sexual behaviour, and I kind of feel weird even saying that, you know? It kind of like, I didn't even realise when I started my asexual journey all about how my asexual journey would turn out, right? I don't like sex. I don't even like nudity, but I have been nude in the past. I have had sex in the past. I have done oral sex. I have done masturbation to my partner. I've done all that type of thing, you know. I can't change my past. I can't change who I am. I can't change my life experiences. I was in heterosexual relationships for half my life. Some people know that about me, and some people don't know that about me. And sometimes I do videos on here that tackle very taboo topics. I tackle things like porn. I personally can't stand porn. It makes me feel sick even thinking about it, right? But some asexuals do watch that. I'm not saying I believe that's right to watch that, but some asexuals do, and I have asexuals come to me, people who are asexual, saying, can I still be asexual if I watch some porn? You know, these are people that are quite distressed and worried about some things they want to do because, you know, there's stereotypes about asexuals, and it's like, unless you're in this tight-fitting little box, you can't really be asexual, and that's not true. Obviously, we don't want to open it up completely wide where we get sexual people pretending to be asexual, but that's happening anyway, right? There are sexuals on asexual dating sites, on ASAP. You know, there are sexuals on there. I don't think they should be on there. I think they should stop infiltrating us, like I said in another video, because it's absolutely disgusting. There's enough sexual people all over in the world to go around, and they can go there and be with them, right? We don't need that in our asexual dating sphere. We don't need that, right? There are also people who are disabled. Some people that are disabled, I've told you that I tried watching it and had a reaction ranging from indifference to disgust. Yes, Michael, I absolutely hate it. I can't stand it. But, you know, some people, like, I had some criticism over a video, what do asexuals think of porn recently? That wasn't, you know, I was giving other people's opinion from my asexual perspectives, but I'm not going to stop talking on this channel about all these hard-hitting topics that people just want to bury their head under the covers and pretend it doesn't exist, right? So what I started to, you know, my hugest passion is writing, right? And I haven't done hardly any writing for a very long time, apart from blog posts, which I still do and love, you know? But I haven't done any book writing for a while, you know? And when I've been having a hard time lately over potential relationships with guys that are blatantly no good for me, they're not available, they can't get in this country, and quite frankly, they don't value my worth enough, they're not good enough for me. And, you know, I'm meaning that in a self-love way. Some people, you know, there's a lot of people that aren't right for a lot of people in the world, you know, because it's hard for people to step up to the plate, you know. I have my own issues with relationships. I have anxiety, relationship anxiety, which means that it's hard for me to be fully available for a relationship in the full sense of the word, because I have my own fears. So it's not just from the other person, right? But these people weren't no good for me. And to get to the point of this video, like, I did some reflection about, and I, you know, I'm thinking I'm not living my life purpose, which is writing, right? I've got a book that I did years ago. There's nothing to do with asexuality, it's to do with redundancy, and I'm going to revive that book in the sense that I'm going to be doing a couple more chapters on it, and I'm going to do it in print, because there's thousands of people redundant all over the UK at the moment. And I was one made redundant again last year, and I haven't been helping those people, okay? Because asexuality is my huge passion. I will not stop helping asexuals. I can't. It's in my blood. It's what I'm meant to do. And I am coming on to more about that, you know? And I've got a fibro book that I never finished. Again, I need to do that. And this is like something I haven't been doing. But the thing you might not like me doing is something I started last year. And I had a question from an aromantic friend. She wrote it in a message. She said, Sandra, if I want to have sex, what do I do? Do you see my point? And now I get private messaged about asexuals that are having sex, or they want to try it, but some of them are having unprotected sex. And what am I doing about it? I'm private messaging them back. But why am I just private messaging them back? Why aren't I helping thousands of people around the globe? Thousands of people that want to try sex, but they can't because they don't know what they're doing. And this is a book I started writing last year. I started writing Heterosex for Asexuals, which is obviously controversial, and tons of people are probably going to hate me for doing it, but I want to do a beginner's guide to sex because there really isn't anything out there. I've been looking, you know, everyone's supposed to understand what sex is, how you're meant to do it. It's supposed to be natural instinct. When I was at school, do you know what my sex education was? It was a video of someone dressed as a sperm and someone dressed as an egg, and with one, like the sperm swimming towards the egg, singing, one day my sperm will come, one day my sperm will come. You know, and that was it. My parents are very conservative. They never talked about sex with me. It was always get your education from school. That was my education, you know. I got emotionally blackmailed into having sex at 16 years of age. I'm not seeing why anyone would hate you doing that. Oh, thank you, Michael. That's really nice. But some people, they believe that because I'm asexual, and because asexuals are not supposed to want anything to do with sex, that if I use, I think this is frankly a brilliant idea. A suggestion for something that might be interesting for the book is how asexuals experience the act of sex itself differently to allosexuals. Okay, that's great. Actually, I'll make a note of that. I think I can how experience is different. I've got questions ready actually because I was making some. They're not going to know how they experience it differently to allosexuals, are they? Really, because they're not, unless they talk to allosexuals, they're not really going to know. But I've got some questions that I prepared. Maybe I should read them out to you guys so you can see what you think. Only rough. So I'm really glad I've got your support. But, some people are not going to like it because it's heterosex for asexuals. It's obviously, I've got to get the right keywords in the title and I've got to make it stand out. And so it is going to say sex and asexual together, which people might look and think, oh my God, why are you talking about sex with asexuals? Because some people hate it, and I do get it. And it is going to actually be a really hard book for me to write. And do you know why? One is because I feel personally sex repulsed by sex, and it makes me feel a bit sick talking about it all the time. And two is I get highly aroused. So I'm going to have these complete conflicting emotions. One is physical body pound, aroused, want to relieve myself. And two is it makes me feel sick. And three is I've got to help people. So it's boom, 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 boom. So it's actually going to be a very, very difficult book for me to finish. I did start writing the beginnings of it last year, while I was even working, because I thought it's just this aromantic person asked for my help, and I went in lots of, incidentally, my sexual friends don't like being called allosexual, and when I did a poll on Avon over which term to use, sexual won. Oh, this is really good, Michael. Yeah, because I always use the word sexuals. I've never used the word allosexuals, and someone told me off on my own Asexualise Facebook page. They said to me, oh, you know the term's allosexual, don't you? And I was like, well, I don't like that term. I don't call people allosexuals. How is a sexual person supposed to know what an allosexual is? How are they supposed to know? Hello, allosexual friend. What the F is that? Do you know what I mean? So I'm really glad that I've got your support on this, guys, because, it's a huge deal for me, because it's kind of hard for me to even write the book. And maybe I think at the same time I might do one for sexuals at the same time, because I can use some of the same content for both, if you know what I mean. But my main priority is asexuals, obviously. So I already started writing the book for asexuals, but there isn't actually a book out there for just normal, I don't like that word, just the majority of sexual people, I thought I was sexual years ago. I thought I was heterosexual. So there was nothing out there like that for me, and not everyone's family wants to talk about it, especially if they come from a religious background or they got certain beliefs. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, my parents don't even talk to me about sex now. I mean, they don't even want me to talk about asexuality sometimes because they know it involves me talking about sex sometimes and stuff. So yeah, anyway, these are the questions I wrote. Let me know what you think, because I want to get some asexual input into the asexual book. I need to write out what I know, from experience, because it's to do with the mindset a lot. But for asexuals, you have to put yourself in the right frame of mind for it. So I'm going to be doing a lot of mind stuff, because if your heart's not really into having sex, you've really got to use your mind. And not everyone is wanting to have it, but they're kind of doing it because they're in a situation with their partner and they feel they have to. And obviously I'm going to put in the book, don't do anything you don't want to do. But some people I know, because I private message them, they love their partners so much that all logic goes out the window and their own needs goes out the window. It shouldn't do. It's wrong because it's not a healthy relationship, but it happens. So I want to make sure that they're as safe as possible and they're not going around getting babies and stuff unless they really want them. Do you get my point? So anyway, so yeah, the asexual book. So I thought about doing one as well, probably for sexuals, although it's going to be weird because obviously there's people a lot more experienced than me as with sex. But having said that, I'm just going to do a basics for beginners, sex basics for beginners. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's going to be called. So I can use some of the stuff that I talk about in the asexual book for that. So I might do both because it saves me doing it again, and I don't really want to be focusing, on the other one too much. But I might get some of my sexual friends to give input on that, because that might be nice, and they won't feel left out, I guess. Then they'll feel like I include them. But, but it's because I was looking through Amazon last year, and well, there seems to be loads of other books on sex, but what about ones that, when you're just starting out, you don't know what the hell you're doing. So anyway, these are the questions I had. Like, can you describe, this is for asexuals, this is what I put down, because I was only thinking about the asexual book predominantly, but obviously I can ask this for sexuals as well for the sexual book. But can you describe what having sex was like for the first time? What went well, what didn't go well, what you would have done differently the first time around, and what advice you would give to others regarding fears, worries, and concerns about having sex for the first time, and any other advice. What do you think about that, guys, girls, whoever's watching? Do you think, you know, do you need me to read that again? Or thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Thank you. More thumbs up, the better, because you know, it's something that I've been really scared about saying to people. You know, I've put off this book. I started it last year and I'm like, crikey, you know, I can't do it. But at the end of the day, it's something that's much needed. And my huge passion is writing. I feel before I die, you know, I'm not hoping or planning to die till after 100 at least. Do you know what I mean? I'm here, planning to be here a long time, but I've just got this thing now where my passion and my first passion is writing, followed very, very close by asexuality. I'll have you know, like I can't not do asexual stuff. But I haven't been so happy recently because I haven't been writing. Even like I started writing this notepad just to help me in all books that I must write and stuff like this. And you know, what, you know, like I started writing about my life and stuff when I was having a bit of a bad mindset the other day, my ideal life. I told you about that, you know. And even just writing a little bit is so therapeutic because writing is in my soul and blood. And I need to do adverts as well for my books because I haven't done any Facebook adverts. So people do, you know, people unless they're in my groups will know me or see my blog posts, they don't even know my books. Do you know what I mean? So I need to start doing that and putting my backside into it, so to speak. So you know, I just really wanted to share all this with you because I know some people, just the mention of sex, they can't stand it. And, you know, I don't want asexuals to think I'm not supporting them. But obviously this book has come about because of an asexual question. And because also I've seen in some groups like, oh, you know, when they talk about sex, like, what do you think of it? People are like, I don't really get it. I tried it and I didn't know what to do with my hands. I didn't know where to put myself. I was waiting for the clock to tick and all this sort. I mean, I can't really talk about gay sex because I'm not gay. Do you know what I mean? So I have to talk about heterosex, you know, like with man and woman, because I can't talk about. They're good questions. I have another friend who's asexual and sex repulsed, but for religious reasons, she needs to have heterosex at some point. This could be. Oh, thank you. That's really good. Oh, thank you. That's really nice of you. Thank you. I'm really glad to have your support because I've been so worried about it. I posted a blog post on my asexualise.com website. I posted like it all over my Facebook groups, on my Facebook profile, in all my pages. And it was also about me. It was on about the fact I'm really glad I've been going out dancing lately. I'm really glad that I'm being around young guys, young foreign guys, you know. It's actually making me less hyper-romantic, and I haven't wanted to kiss any of them, which is really weird, but it actually makes me better, because I've like got a supply or a whole atmosphere full of young foreign guys in their 20s when I go dancing. It's kind of, I don't need that so much anymore. I don't think about a relationship as much because I've got that atmosphere, because I think what I crave is the connection and being around people, even though I'm happy dancing on my own. Like last time I danced completely on my own for like hours. I went this last Tuesday and the dancing has been so good for my soul. Like for so long I haven't gone dancing on my own because I've been so scared. Like for the last few years I've been living really scared life. Like I'm so scared because obviously it is dangerous. Like sometimes I have to walk home on my own because I can't afford taxi all the time. And that can be really dangerous, you know. So I don't obviously tell people where I'm going dancing so people don't know what I'm doing and where I am exactly when. They know I'm going out dancing, you know. But last time I got a taxi back, so sometimes, you know, because the roadworks were blocked off. But you know, I'm finally going out dancing on my own. I'm going to a place that does foreign music around foreign guys. Nearly everyone's in their 20s, and you know, I have to explain that my birth certificate age has nothing to do with the way that I feel that my soul is, you know. I haven't been quenching my soul, you know. I haven't been writing. I got scared of doing the dancing, you know, and I want to tell people that I do have some sexual behaviour, because kind of it feels even scary and weird to me. Do you know what I mean? I love passionate kissing, but do you know what really, really scares me and frightens me? If I do get an asexual match, right, without the sex, someone who loves passionate kissing as much as me and can actually be over here in a relationship, it scares the living daylights out of me actually kissing them, because of the arousal levels I feel. I don't really, sometimes I like the feeling and other times I don't. It's like your body goes out and does something else than your mind, and they don't work together. And that scares the life out of me. Although I want a relationship, I've obviously got some subconscious beliefs that it's going to be really hard for me and scary. So I kind of want to run away at the same time, where I'm not going to really be able to find a long-lasting, loving, fulfilling relationship where I'm at odds with myself all the time. So that's but I think that would come with time, that I'd be able to work through that with the right guy. I just haven't found the right asexual guy yet, as you know. So yeah, I kind of feel that the way my life's going more and more is that I need to be helping people with asexual relationships. Another book I want to write, right, which I'm going to tell you about now, it isn't as controversial as that one's going to be, but it's how to be more romantic. Because obviously I don't know whether to aim this at aromantics, which obviously I could do, or just aim it at anyone who's having a relationship who wants to be more romantic. Or again, I could possibly write 2 books, but then, you know, it's kind of doubling up, and I don't know if I really need to double up in that way, because I don't know if, you know, I think some aromantics could just buy the book if they wanted to be more romantic, because aromantics really don't need to be more romantic. They're perfectly fine as they are. Just a few of them might want to be if they want to be in a romantic relationship, like a Coupio romantic, for example, who desires a romantic relationship, yet despite not being romantic. And I actually think quite a lot of aromantics can be really romantic without realising it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just putting you down a bit, moving you down on the camera. So another book I definitely want to write is how to be more romantic, but I might just do that as a general book for people who, you know, because there's lots of people in relationships not asexual and they don't know how to be romantic, you know. And I kind of feel the way my life's going is maybe I should be helping more people in general with relationships, because I kind of like talk a lot about relationships on this channel anyway. And, you know, I'm predominantly, you know, helping asexuals, because that is what I do, and I will always do that till the day I die. I help asexuals. I can't help it. I can't not do asexual stuff, you know. Like, someone spoke to me the other day about not doing asexual stuff, or, you know, like I do, and my whole life like just felt like, what's my purpose? What am I doing here? Oh my god! And I just went into a meltdown in my mind, and they posed the suggestion to me, and it's like, but I can't, it's my identity. But also I was thinking, what else can I do as well? You know, what else would be my life purpose? And I'm like, oh yeah, my life purpose is to write. I did have that life purpose first, you know, and I haven't been acting on it. And when you don't act on your life purpose, you kind of get lost and swept up in other things, and you can lose yourself. And my identity is, as since 2009, when I was first made redundant, actually was born to be a writer. And I just have so many books in me that I want to do before I die that can help people in different ways. Like I said, the redundancy book, people who've got fibromyalgia, I have to finish that book. You know, and I believe I can help a lot of people in relationships, because with the work I do with asexuals, I see relationships completely different to how I've ever seen them in my life, ever. And like, it's really weird. It's like I've got this deep insight, and I'm sure quite, you know, I'm not, you know, it's not going to just be me who's got this insight. It's going to be other asexuals too, obviously, not everyone. But I think the deep thinkers amongst us can, you know, see relationships in a different way. And because of all the work I do since 2015, and my mind is very questioning all the time, and it's very, what's this, what's that, you know, I can just sort of see all the different sexuality spectrum, like from aromantic, asexual, all the way up to the heterosexual. And then I'm thinking the heterosexuals are really lost in this world, you know, because in terms of relationships, they do not discuss sex like asexuals do. It's really ironic, but we discuss sex and relationships and what we want in them far more than sexuals. It's no wonder that tons of sexuals are getting divorced. It's no wonder that tons of sexuals have affairs. I mean, I don't agree with them, and I don't think they should do, and some of it is for the sex, obviously. But I even found out that a lot of the problems with sexuals is the fact they don't have that emotional connection. And for being in heterosexual relationships, I can personally understand why sexuals don't tend to have those emotional connections. I mean, asexual love, even though I'm not in a relationship, is so much deeper in the soul than sexual love. I know that might seem really bragging towards asexuals, but it's the truth, you know? Because we take sex out of the equation, our ability to love on all these different levels is just immense. And, you know, sexuals just won't really understand that, because the way the sexual relationships work isn't like that. I mean, I don't want to upset sexuals, you know, because I don't think it's fair to upset people in life, but I tend to feel that sexual love is more artificial, you know? It's born a lot of the time through this chemistry and this sexual attraction. It's not born through any type of logic at all, really, usually, a lot of the time. And it's not sustained in a communicative way. I know that asexuals do have a problem a lot of the time with communication, though. They have problems with socializing and social communication, social interaction, which is why we have a lot of problems getting the right person for a relationship, right? Communication is essential in a relationship. Very, very deep, sustained, consistent connection, and part of that connection is communication. And when the communication goes, or is not there in the first place, or is less like balanced, like one person does more than the other, it's not going to work long term, right? So it's hard for anyone to get compatibility. But I think there's this whole world of depth towards relationships that sexuals just don't understand on a fundamental level a lot of the time, because their brain has not got the capacity to think like that, because the stuff that we know, they don't even know. They can't comprehend. I couldn't even understand this stuff. If I was back in my old sexual relationship life, I wouldn't understand what I understand now. I wouldn't get it. I would be like, what? I don't understand. I'd be, obviously, as I didn't like sex, I would understand that bit, but I wouldn't understand all the levels that I do now, the peeling back of all different sexualities that I do understand now. Like I said, I'm sure a lot of asexuals do get it. I think some asexuals have even a deeper understanding than others, but I think we as a whole tend to understand relationships in a very more complex way, and I think they are complex. And I just see sexuals and I think, my God, you know, they just don't know this stuff. It's like secret stuff that they don't know. Obviously, some aren't even willing to listen. That's fine. But, you know, so I sort of feel like I should be helping relationships in general, but not in general. Like, I really am for asexuals, but I kind of feel like while I'm helping asexuals, maybe I should be helping some sexual people over here, right? Because why not? You know, if I'm alive and I have some knowledge to share, then I think it's kind of like important that I share it with them, because they're not going to know. They can either toss it away or they can think, oh, she might have a point. So yeah, I definitely feel like I should do the one how to be more romantic, because you know I'm a hyper romantic, right? It's like, if anyone's born to write that type of book, it's me. And I did a video, right? I was looking to likes and going through my old blogs on asexualise.com, and I did a video a while ago about how to have passion without sex, and it's on the first page of Google for those search terms, and obviously pretty much all of them are to do with sexual relationships, but there's blog posts, articles, you know, on other places about how to love without sex, how to have relationship without sex being it, not just asexuality. So it's very interesting, isn't it? So obviously people are searching for this type of thing, how to have passion without sex, which I can also talk about, you know, because I know how to be passionate without having sex. I know the power of touch, the power of kiss. And the thing with me is I do like to keep my clothes on these days, but you know, you can have very, very high intense, how can I put it, sexual behaviour that gives sexual feelings without the sexual intercourse. So for example, if I was passionately kissing a guy, he could be getting a huge thrill out of that sexually in a physical way without me actually having intercourse with him. And sometimes, even in sexual relationships, I think they should do that more. I think they should do everything but the sex if they want. I mean, I don't like the body touching nakedness in my mind at the moment, but you know, but for sexuals, they should be doing everything but having the sex, or at least first, do you know what I mean? Because that's what they're missing out on, if you know what I mean. They're just like so focused on the sex part that that's not how to have good sex. My ex was good at sex even though I didn't want it. You know, I wasn't like, I mean, when I was with him, I wasn't like, didn't say, you know, I was kind of putting off sex a lot and trying to avoid it and stuff like that. But when I was having it, I wasn't like, don't do that to me. But sometimes I said that I can't do sex tonight. I did say that. I wasn't always like up for it. You know what I mean? But he used to like a lot of physical touch as well. So I did that for him and him for me. So, you know, I can have sexual behaviour. I have done a lot of touching in the past. If I was in a relationship, I kind of think at the moment I wouldn't really want to touch a guy below the waist, but have done in the past. I mean, you know, so it's kind of like, you know, I kind of like need to find my feet even in if I was back in a relationship, because there's certain things you actually think you know, and you can know as much as you know. There's kind of like, if you're in a relationship with someone, because I did things in the past, it's kind of like, I don't know, I pretty much know, you know, I know I don't want sex, but, you know, there's certain things like I don't like touching, like I said, a guy below the waist. I don't think I could do that again. But, you know, it's hard, isn't it? Because some asexuals really like that, you know? So that's kind of hard for me. That would be my choice, I guess. But, you know, so I just wanted to give you a heads up about what I'm doing, because I wasn't sure how you'd feel about it, because obviously it does involve sex. And I don't want you to think that I've abandon asexuality or that I've gone to the other side or something, you know, because I'm still asexual. You know, I have high arousal levels, like I said, and that scares the life out of me. You know, I'm kind of scared of my own asexuality, sexuality, you know. It's I find it really difficult, you know, because if I do get with a guy who I, you know, is compatible with me, kind of the kissing would be quite explosive for me physically, and it's kind of like really scary, you know. It's kind of like I want to run away and cuddle my cuddly toys and just forget about all that part of me. But that's kind of like fighting against myself, and that makes it really hard. It makes it hard for even to be in a relationship. It makes it hard for even to actually want a relationship totally, completely, honestly, you know. Subconsciously, part of me thinks now I'm just better off single. And at the moment, I am better off single, because clearly the guys that are showing up in my life are not good enough quality guys that value my worth. I mean, we found that out recently, haven't we? And I don't want to be in that bad position again. I'm in a really good mindset position now. I'm getting my life back on track, but I am being really open and honest about me having sexual behaviour, even though I'm asexual, because I kind of feel even weird saying it, and kind of like, oh my goodness me, it's quite scary, and I don't even understand it myself, and I find it quite difficult, you know. And I find it hard because, you know, when I first discovered asexuality, even I thought, well, an asexual person can't have anything to do with sex or want anything to do with sex, you know. That's why I actually thought very, very initially, like 4 years ago myself, so I can't blame other people for believing that. And I guess because I've remembered what I believed, I guess I've kind of subconsciously hung on to that and thinking, God, if I talk about sex, you know, and if I write these books, you know, like for asexuals, or even, you know, another one for sexuals as well, that people will think bad of me, and, you know, I don't want to upset people because I'm a kind, caring person, but I have to just be me in life. You know, I have books that I need to write. I have, you know, I need to be creating books that people want, that will help people, and, you know, and some of it's not just going to be for asexual, some of it's going to be, because obviously I was writing another, I mean, I've got a Twitter book out, I've got an SSL book out, do you know what I mean? It's not all for asexuals, because I just love writing and helping people as well. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. And, you know, I you know, on Facebook, I put, if anyone who's on my Facebook page wants to just defriend me, if they're going to get upset that I'm going to do that, then that's fine, I accept that. You know, but I really appreciate you sticking by me and sticking with me. If you've got any questions, I can take questions now, because I pretty much finished what I was going to say. Is there any questions from anyone? Anyone want to know anything more about the book, or anything about me personally that I can say to you on this channel? Because obviously I've said a lot tonight already. Is there anyone who has anything specifically in this heterosexual book? Well, heterosex book for asexuals, I'm going to have to put it like that. You know, it's going to be a weird title, but, you know, is there anyone who wants to say anything to me, or are you okay if you've got any questions? So I'm going to wrap up, I think. I want to do a special video tomorrow, because it is the end of Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month after party, but I kind of love doing these live streams, so maybe I'm going to try and do them still. Like, I just think because I've got into the habit of doing it now, it's kind of like I need to carry it on. But I have no questions. I don't think the book will be useful for me personally, but it's unlikely I'll have sex in the future. Yeah, I know, Michael. I know that the book's not going to be any good for you, but it's nice that I've still got your support. I know. I'm really sorry about that. I know the book won't be for everyone. I even put that in the blog post, you know, not everyone's going to like what I write, not everyone's going to like the books I do, and that's fine. They don't have to read those ones, but I can still help people in their life. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, yeah, it's not going to be, you know, it's only going to be for the people specific. That's what I mean. It's going to be a very specific niche, that book. Only for asexuals who want to try sex or have thought about having it, you know. So, anyway, I've got a very special tomorrow. I'm going to be reading out, I've done an asexual poem, the first one ever on my blog. I don't know if you've read my asexualise.com blog lately, but it's got a beautiful asexual poem I did on there, and it speaks from the heart. So tomorrow I'm going to read it from the screen, and I'm going to read it out to you all. Okay, so I want you to tune in for that, because it's just going to be beautiful. And if you can't make it, then please, you know, watch it, because it's the first asexual poem I've done, and it came very much from my heart. And like I said, I love writing, so, you know, maybe I'll be doing a book of poetry for asexuals one day. Oh, and also I've started doing asexual journals and notebooks. So I've got a journal out, 2 notebooks out. A journal and notebook's pretty much the same thing. They just call different things, really. And journal tends to be more of people writing their life story in it, but essentially it's the same sort of content anyway. But yeah, there's 3 out on Amazon already, so I'm gonna, you know, because I want to get some out before Christmas so people can buy them for gifts and stuff. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, busy doing that as well. Like 3 I've got out so far, so that's gonna be really good for people. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for all your love and acceptance. Bless you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for continuing to support me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up before you go. I really appreciate it. Every time you give me a thumbs up, it raises awareness of asexuality. It puts these videos, thanks Martin, it puts these videos further up in the search engine rankings, and it really helps me to spread awareness of asexuality. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed already, if you're new to this channel, please do, and hit the bell icon so you should get instant notifications of every time I post a new video. As I always end my video, embrace your quirky and each other's, and I will see you on the next live stream. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.